What's up, Flyer fans? It's Doug back again with another episode. Today's episode is going to be based around Daron Holmes and his NBA draft profile. As we know, Daron has spent the last 3 years here at UD. It's been 3 really, really great years watching him develop into the player he is now. And he just finished up his junior year, and it feels like, based on everything we're hearing, based on the analysis of his game, Daron Holmes is more than likely going to go to the NBA, and he will be drafted into the NBA this year. So that is really excellent for him. Couldn't happen to a better kid. So excited for him. But let's jump into what makes him a great draft prospect, what makes him a potential first round pick, which we'll touch on more as we go along. But let's get into Daron Holmes. His measurables. He measured 6'9" with no shoes on, so take that with a grain of salt because you play in shoes. So he will be 6'10". He weighed 236 at the draft combine. That's 20 pounds more than he weighed last season when he went to the combine. Wingspan 7'1", long reach. That's going to help him in the NBA, obviously. Let's look back at his junior season. Finished 20 points per game, 8.5 rebounds, 2 blocks, nearly a steal a game, and 2.5 assists. An excellent season for Daron Holmes. He was the A-10 Player of the Year. He was the Defensive Player of the Year. He was a second-team All-American. He had 13 double-doubles, 9 games over 25 points. And then, because some people highlight this as a weakness, his level of play, this season I counted 8 games where he was playing high-level competition, Power 5, Mountain West opponents. We played 8 games against those type of teams. He averaged nearly 19 points per game in those games, so he definitely can get it done against higher level competition. Next, we'll look at Daron's prospects in the NBA. With the NBA going to more positionless basketball and the spread offense, I think this really helps Daron's draft value because he is a player who can space the floor, he can handle the ball, he can post up, he can do all different things that are really shaping the NBA game right now. So, in my opinion, that's going to help him get drafted sooner than later in this year's NBA draft. His ability to defend multiple positions and his switchability on guards, which was shown out throughout the year. He switched many times and was able to stick with faster, quicker guards, using his length, his speed, his footwork to stay in good defensive position on those guys. So definitely something that's the NBA is going to test him night in and night out. The switching of the bigs, the playing either drop coverage or coming up and actually hedging out, switching, all that stuff is going to be nightly basis. Daron Holmes is going to have to be on his A game when it comes to those kind of the guards in the NBA are just they're monsters. The level of play in the NBA with guards right now is at an all-time high. So he's got to be ready for any kind of defense, and I think he's prepared himself very well this past season to do that. On the other end of the court, like we talked about, he's added responsibility in the offense. A lot of times, Daron Holmes was bringing the ball up the floor. He was initiating the offense. He was setting up to help the guards when they couldn't get the ball across the floor. A lot of times, we didn't love it when he was doing that, but this is going to help him in the NBA and be more prepared for when those situations come. And I think it's only going to help his game. Next thing that's going to help him in his NBA prospects is his ability to shoot the three. He's added a three-point shot. I'll talk about that as a strength more later. But again, his shot making, his ability to create in the offense, and then his ability to stretch the floor, all are going to lend themselves to be helping him get drafted this season. Let's look at his strengths as a basketball player. Obviously, Daron has a very high motor. He showed that off for the last 3 years. It's something you just see with your eye. The eye test. Okay, that guy doesn't give up on plays. He's always in the play. He's battling down for rebounds. He's getting back. He's blocking shots in transition. High motor player, willing to do whatever it takes to win the game. Next thing that is a massive strength for him is he is a high-level defender. He is one of the best defenders in the country. There's a reason he was the A10 Defensive Player of the Year. He averaged almost 3 stocks a game, blocks, steals. Again, in the NBA, a guy who can block shots, spread the floor, do all these little things add up to big things, and I think that just continues. It raises his draft stock, and it only makes him a better-looking prospect. And then his ability to switch, I just touched on it. He's going to have to guard smaller guards. He's going to have to work on moving his feet a little bit more, but I think he has the tools and the athletic ability to do that on a nightly basis. And then his mobility and his recovery. The ability to chase down blocks, the ability to use his length, athleticism to tip passes, to do all those kind of things are all important strengths going into next season. And then now he's a 3-level scorer. Before you could not say that about Daron Holmes. He was not a 3-level scorer. After his junior year, he is in 100% a 3-level scorer. His ability to score above the rim, at the rim, around the rim is fantastic. His touch is really special. There's multiple times throughout the year he's getting hammered, getting fouled, flips it up on the backboard and it rolls in, kisses off the backboard for an and one, flips it up on the rim and it rolls in. He did that countless times, proving his touch is next level. And then we talk about his mid-range jump shot. I think him backing into players and backing them down and then using that spin jumper, fadeaway jumper was gorgeous. His touch is fantastic from mid-range also. It's crazy because you would think a big guy who has great touch around the rim may not have that as he gets further away, but Daron has a beautiful-looking jump shot, and the mid-range, I think, looked even better this year. And then now we can call Daron a good three-point shooter. If you shoot above 36% from the three-point line, you are a upper-tier shooter. And he shot 38% from three this year, raising his percentages from last season where he only shot 31%. And also I want to touch on his free throw shooting. His sophomore year, he shot 67%. This year, as a junior, on much higher volume, he led the A10 in free throws. He shot 71%. It didn't always feel like he was making all of his free throws, but damn it, if you look at the stats, he did a fantastic job shooting free throws this year. Also, look at the amount of threes he took this year. He shot 83 threes this year, and 38, almost 39% on 83 attempts is really strong for a big man. Now let's talk about some of Daron's weaknesses. Now, if you watched all the games this year, Daron, fantastic player, but he has some things he needs to work on. I think his added weight, the 20 extra pounds, is really great. I think he needs to probably add 10 more because at times he had trouble finishing against big men in some of these games. Richmond game was definitely one of them. He struggled against LSU's bigs in that game a little bit. So to me, I think his finishing around the rim against big men was a weakness and something that he has to improve on because in the NBA, everybody's big. You have to be prepared for the physicality of the NBA, and I think that's something he needs to definitely work on during the off season. My next weakness, turnovers and decision-making. Obviously, some of this comes with having the ball a lot, and he had the ball a ton for Dayton last year. So that's definitely part of it, but turnovers and decision-making. I think sometimes Daron let the defense get onto him too much before he tried to make a pass, or sometimes he didn't thoroughly think out the possession and where he wanted to go with the ball. So there was a little bit of indecision leading to some turnovers. Some of his cross-court passes have to be a little sharper. That's not going to work in the NBA, especially when the athletes are all at top tier. You cannot make lazy passes across the floor. So turnovers, in my opinion, need to be corrected a little bit, and the decision-making has to be faster. If you're getting doubled, which I don't think he's going to be doubled a lot in the NBA, you have to make good passes. You have to make good decisions. So to me, weaknesses, that's definitely part of it. He only averaged 2 turnovers a game, but there were some games where it definitely got a little bit egregious. I mean, he had a 6 turnover game, a 5 turnover game, a couple 4 turnover games. Again, He has the ball a lot. That's going to happen, but we have to hammer it out. We have to be fair in our criticism of his game. Next thing I want to touch on before we get out of here, Daron Holmes is in mock drafts. He is kind of all over the place. So I picked I picked 5 different people who have him mocked. Jonathan Givony has him going number 50 to the Indiana Pacers. Kyle Boone of CBS has him going 29th to Utah. Gary Parrish of CBS also has him going 28 to Denver. Wasserman has him 30 to Boston. And then Kevin O'Connor of The Ringer has him 23 to the Bucks. So a little, again, all over the place. He could literally go anywhere in this draft. To me, Daron Holmes, after his great shooting performance at the Combine, he has put himself in prime position to be drafted at the end of the first round. And to me, 3 teams that I would look for to put in a draft ticket for Daron Holmes are the Bucks, with Brook Lopez aging out and kind of being less effective. That's a great opportunity for Daron Holmes to come in and take some minutes away from him and be able to fill in that role and play with Giannis, Bobby Portis, some of those guys. And then Boston, similar to the Bucks. Al Horford is slowing down. He is not the player he once was. Boston likes to spread the floor, shoot a lot of threes. Daron Holmes, I think, could come in and play meaningful minutes with Boston and really help them as a team. And then the last team I think he could help are the Cavs. The Cavs need a guy off the bench, high energy, who can spread the floor and block shots, back up Evan Mobley, spread the floor effectively, and give some of these guards a little bit of help. So in my opinion, Bucks, Boston, Cavs, look for those teams to potentially go out and grab Daron Holmes late in the first round. I'm pretty sold on Daron Holmes. I think he is going to be a first-round pick this year. I think it's finally the time to pull the trigger, keep his name in the draft, and Daron Holmes next year will be wearing an NBA jersey, and I believe he will be getting some minutes in the NBA going forward. Guys, it's been fun. Let me know what you think. I appreciate everybody's feedback on Twitter. I took into consideration what you guys said and tried to add that in there. A lot of nice comments on Daron. So let's look forward to the NBA draft and let's see where he goes, and we'll keep supporting him. Go Flyers, and I will see you guys next time.
Down to 10 to shoot for VCU with Shulga. Shulga rejected by Holmes.
Again, Hughes brings the Billikens back. Hughes attacks. There's a rejection by.
He's playing really well. He's gotten a little bit of groove. He struggled early in the game to adjust to some of the pace and physicality, but he's been really good as of late.
16 points for him tonight. Norris, 2-point game. Gets free and it gets to the ball.
You see it?
Because they're trying to prevent the back cuts, right?
Maddox now to Wood. Again, Maddox has had a rough start to it here. He made his 3 free throws. They go down low to Henry. Trying to go around home.
Mador, he saw that Holmes was there. He didn't want to take it. Now he takes the 3 and it's swatted out of bounds.
18-foot jumper. They'll live with that. Where he did his damage at Duquesne was around that basket and putbacks and dunks. Offense playing really well.
Holmes has his pocket picked and comes back. He left in the game, 15 to shoot. Bairstow to the hole. Kicks it back out. Jackson slashes through, finds the cutter. It's Bairstow. He's blocked.
Look how connected Arizona is defensively.
4 to shoot. Holmes drives and scores it.
First round game to Nevada.
This is
But the Arizona Wildcats are a different type of ball. So we better cut this.
Rhea. Over to Holmes. Holmes.
Got a mismatch inside. Let's see if Arizona's going to play it straight up.
Got Johnson up in the air.
He kind of get Holmes the ball in low with Johnson on him. Ball low out of the game. Holmes can now be physical inside. Easy pass inside. And he's able to get 8 points.
Holmes with 20 points, 11 rebounds, and 1 knockdown. Now it's
Luke is confident in his skill set.
Holmes. Holmes, you said he could shoot the 3, and there it is. Hard position. Continue to get it into Holmes, and it pays off. And 1. What a defensive play. Holmes. 6 on the season. Cheeks. Alley-oop, Holmes. Yeah. Furman battling with Holmes down low. Holmes has it. Puts it up and in.
You're helping too much in the hole. Good job there by Medley finding Jefferson. That's what they got to do.
There's Holmes.
Utilizing him thus far. But again, don't let him take that shot. And
Holmes not in the first half. Holmes has almost got a double-double. Here he goes inside.
Not just posting up Daron Holmes, force him to play in the seams by the Atlantic 10. A little bit different.
There's Holmes in the paint.
On this team, this is vice grips. Just discipline.
Holmes steps out.